We all worry about money, but there are 3 areas of financial concerns that consistently top the list, and Jim Lineweaver is here to check them off. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome back to the show.
Good to see you.
Now, when we're talking about these 3 areas, we're not including the stock market on the list because that is a concern all the time for everybody.
Exactly.
So, but aside from that, what should we be focusing on?
Well, what ends up happening is that some people overlook this, but when you have assets and you're thinking about how to possibly preserve them or pass those to the next generation, a lot of people forget how this step up in basis works on different accounts. And it can be a big deal because let's say you bought something for $10,000 and through your life it's now worth $100,000. If that's not handled correctly, then you may pay taxes on that additional $90,000, yeah. Right? So your spouse may not be happy with that, your kids may not be happy, so you work long and hard for the money, why don't we try to keep it? So there's ways, typically if you have something in a joint account and then one spouse passes away, maybe only half of that account gets a step up. So you say, well, do I just put, half the money in your name and half in mine? But that leads to other problems. But there are ways that you can set up different trusts so that you can actually preserve that, what's called step up in basis. So in other words, if you did pay the $10,000 and it jumps to $100,000, if either you or your spouse passes away, they might be able to sell that for the $100,000 and not pay the capital gains taxes. Certain pros and cons with it, you got to be careful with it, but there's ways to structure this so you can really maximize the wealth to you and your family.
Okay, well that sounds like an important concern. The next is a really big concern I know for most people is long-term care. Yeah,
not only am I living this through my clients, but it affected my own family as well. My dad was in a nursing home for 2.5 years before he died. My mom's going on about 7 years in an assisted living facility.
Oh,
so
yeah.
What happens is, there's a huge depletion of assets when these things occur, and you want them to have the best quality that they possibly can. So you're either going to look at probably self-insuring these, which can be, sometimes $10,000, $12,000 a month or more.
That's right.
Or what you're going to do is you may have insurance to rely on with long-term care insurance, but we're finding that those prices keep increasing every year because people are living longer, and obviously those insurance companies have to pay more.
Some people get priced out of the market.
You really do. So there's some other options that you can look at as well with the trust where you might be able to combine some gifting to get some money out of your estate or protect some of those assets for your family and loved one. You have the $14,000 per person per year that you can gift, but if you want to do more, we all have that exclusion that's over $5 million that we can take advantage of as well. So we're going to be diving a little more into detail in a seminar that I'll talk to viewers about in a little bit.
Now the third one kind of surprised me. Protecting your money from your spendthrift children.
Yes, you probably have an idea whether they're a spendthrift or not already, right? But needless to say, if you really want to try to protect your money and you're worried about the kids, because you might have put a lot of sweat equity into this, and the kids in this generation, they feel they're more entitled, and money comes a lot easier these days. So if you really want to try to protect that and make sure you're doing the right things, you might want to get a trust, or maybe you can do a stretch IRA. There's multiple tools you can use, but you might want to put some age restrictions around it. Like what I've done for my kids is that we have, they don't get any money till they're 35 and then 40, and the last distribution's at 45. So they might be upset with me.
Are they listening today?
Yeah, they're really, yeah. There might be a conversation at our next dinner. But needless to say, I wanted some things to wrap that up. So hopefully, by the time they hit 35, they might be able to start to handle some money on some type of an inheritance.
And you mentioned a seminar coming up.
Yes, what happens is we're going to be covering this and a lot more topics at our seminar that's coming up on March 21st at 1 p.m. and also March 23rd at 6 p.m. There is no obligation to your viewers, but it does fill up fast, and we'd be happy to have them come and learn some more.
All right, so they can just show up and get some more information about these 3 big concerns.
Yes, that'd be great.
All right. You'll want to make the most of your money, so it's important to pay attention to each of these areas that Jim listed. If you need help with 1 or 2 or all 3, give Jim a call. His number is next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net.